Alright, so this is a video explaining how you can easily become a top 1% elite sports bettor. Now, don't be intimidated by this because it's not as hard as it sounds. To begin with, it's estimated that 95 to 97% of sports bettors lose money, so just breaking even might place you in the top 3%. Now, it's estimated that roughly 0.5% or 1% of sports bettors are profitable. This means if you made just £10 in a year from sports betting, you are already in the top 1% of sports bettors. If you include all forms of gambling, like slots, casino, and all that nonsense, then your £10 yearly profit probably places you in the top 0.1% of gamblers. So it's not really a difficult thing to achieve being a top 1% sports bettor. But we are here to make a lot more than £10, so I'm going to explain the common mistakes the 95% make and how you can easily become a profitable sports bettor. The first mistake is that people pick who they think will win rather than who has good value and good odds. For example, we have Arsenal playing Wolves this weekend. A casual bettor will blindly bet on Arsenal at any odds because, quite rightly, they are big favourites, totally forgetting that big upsets sometimes will happen in sports. So the correct way to think about this bet is by using Pinnacle and devigging. We find that the fair odds for Arsenal to win are 1.2. This means that Arsenal have an 83.3% chance of winning the game. Now again, the way to think about this is if you simulated this game trillions of times, Arsenal will win that game 83.3% of the time. They are not guaranteed to win 100%. They will lose some of the times in this simulation. So because of that, we only place a bet on Arsenal if we can secure odds higher than the 1.2 fair odds. This is a plus EV bet. It doesn't matter what we're betting on, we will never know the outcome in sports. But if we keep betting odds higher than the fair odds, we will win more money than we should do on our winning bets, giving us a nice return on investment in the long run. So this brings me to the second mistake people make, and it's not being particularly aware of the odds they're choosing to bet on. What I mean by this is that maybe they're signed up to just one site, let's say Bet365 for example, and for this weekend they fancy Brighton to beat Liverpool. If they place a £10 bet and it wins, they get £45 from Bet365. But if they just looked on Odds Checker, they could see that they could get better odds on BetMGM, meaning if the bet wins, they get £47, an extra £2. If you don't bet at the very best odds possible, then you are almost all but guaranteed to be in the 95% losing category. Losing a few pounds on all of your winning bets is a serious handicap that virtually no pro sports bettor could overcome. The third mistake as well is emotional betting. As I mentioned earlier, people pick winners or worse, they chase losses thinking they're due a win, and this digs themselves just a bigger and bigger hole. We must be robotic in our approach. Respect the maths. Just view every single event as a probability of happening, and we must only bet at odds higher than the fair odds. Even a bet that has 95% chance of winning will still sometimes lose. If this happens to you, don't play the victim card. Don't think, why are you always so unlucky? Unlucky streaks in sports gambling happens to everyone. Don't worry, it's part of the process. But as long as you bet at odds that are plus EV and you do enough betting volume, then you will easily be in the top 1% of sports bettors. A good place to start can be on Super Boosts offered by various sports books. Almost all of these are plus EV, but the regular bet boosts are almost always negative EV and should be avoided. I've done some videos about plus EV betting, but another simple way to be profitable is just by following proven reliable tipsters. I like to use the site bettingodds.com as their tipsters go through a trial period to ensure that their methods work, and you can see all of their past bets to verify their results. This is a great option for sports you aren't familiar with, or you want to save yourself a lot of time letting an expert find the decent bets for you. Remember, securing the premium plus EV odds is the key to being a winner in sports betting. It's really that simple, and anyone can do it. I hope you found the video useful. If you did, then give it a like. You can do a 7-day free trial in my Patreon below if you want to follow my plus EV bets. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.